we are lucky to have with us joining by Zoom. We'll go straight to Kailash Satyarthi, who is the Nobel Peace Laureate, who is renowned for his unique and wonderful leadership in rescuing children from extreme deprivation and from bonded and slave labor. And Kailash has been bringing the plight of these desperate children to the world's attention in an incredibly brave and effective way for many decades, and with great bravery and success. So Kailash, it's so good that you are joining today, and we need your wisdom. I don't know if you were hearing any of the opening, but Pope Francis gave us important words, and I made a quick overview of the situation of extreme poverty. So over to you.
Thank you, Jeff, and thanks to Bishop Sanchez, sisters and brothers. I was very much carefully listening both these speeches, which are really incredible and heart-touching, and the message from Pope Francis. Let me begin with a life story. Many years ago, I have freed a group of children from intergenerational slavery. One of them was 15-year-old Gulabo, who was born in slavery and grew up because her father was very, very poor. They were never paid anything. They were never allowed to leave. I still carry the burden of dead body of this 15-year-old sister of mine, Gulabo, who took her last breath in my lap, crying and pleading, "Brother, I don't want to die. I don't want to die." She was facing tuberculosis and other diseases, extremely malnourished, but still she had a hope. I also saw the helplessness and hopelessness of her parents that day. For me, the poverty means slavery. Poverty means hopelessness, helplessness. Poverty, for me, is the frozen tears of her mother. When I took this girl to hospital and she was declared brought dead. I have met many children in Ivory Coast and Ghana with injuries and bruises on their bodies. Those who used to work in farms, cocoa farms. As you know that cocoa is the core ingredient of chocolate. When I asked these boys and girls, how do you like chocolate? Just out of my curiosity, none of them have ever heard chocolate. They have never seen chocolate. They have never tasted chocolate. They have never dreamed to have a chocolate. So poverty is the denial of dream. Poverty is the denial of all the opportunities and future and childhood and freedom and dignity of a human being. Poverty, thus, is a crime against humanity. It's violence which is perpetuating, and I never believe that it is natural, because some people benefit out of it. People go on living in this extreme and chronic poverty situations. Dear friends, Jeff has just brought out some figures, and he was mentioning that just 1% of the global economic outcome annual 1% can change the situation. So we are not poor. I refuse to accept that we are so poor that we cannot end this violence, this crime. This year, the world is celebrating or observing the International Year for the Elimination of Child Labor, marked by United Nations. But I am sorry to say that after 4 years of SDGs announcement, between 2016 and 2040, 10,000 children, kids I would say, between the age of 5 and 11 were pushed into child labor. That means slavery, trafficking, prostitution every day. There is no excuse for that. There cannot be any justification for that. I am being a little blunt here, but I'm representing the voices, the silenced, deprived voices of those children in the world. And they are never responsible for poverty. They are never responsible for any kind of violence in the world. They are not responsible for wars and all those insurgencies which we adult people, wise people, powerful people have created. Friends, a girl in Colombia, whom my local organization has liberated from these situations. She was trafficked and re-trafficked, molested and raped, and gave birth to a child at the age of 14 or 15 on the streets of Bogota. When I asked her that, now we will help you, my dear daughter, we will take you to school, she said, it's too late for me, sir. It is too late. If you are really honest, make sure that my son, my child, gets education. It is too late, dear friends. How long we will keep on talking and analyzing these situations? How long we will keep on doing researches? How long we will keep on organizing conferences and meetings on poverty? Poverty eradication needs bold moral leadership in every sphere of life. I refuse to accept that the people sitting here with so much moral power and authority, so much knowledge, are not capable to challenge and change this situation. Dear friends, they are all our children. I was reading that 100 million children are being pushed into the situation of hunger and extreme poverty situations and deprivation in Afghanistan. These Afghani children are my children and your children. They are the children of human family. Friends, we have suggested one thing recently on behalf of the group of Nobel laureates and some moral leaders, what we call the laureates and leaders for children. And I'm proud that Jeff has been associated with that group, and he visited India for the launch of this laureates and leaders for children. So we have brought a calculation that only $52 billion can provide social security to every child and every pregnant woman in all low-income countries. And just for comparison, what is this $52 billion? $52 billion are less than 2% of COVID relief measures taken in G7 countries. This sum is less than 0.4% of what European countries spend in their own social security programs. How can we talk of creating one world for all human beings? How we can say that we live in one planet Earth? Dear friends, we have to go for bold measures. Tax justice, ODA increase, readjustment in the budgetary allocations at country level. But more importantly, we have to globalize compassion. We have to globalize compassion. Why I say this? We have globalized economies. We have globalized knowledge and technologies and wealth and production and supply. This is the time to globalize compassion. This is the time to create supply chain of gratitude. No one can become the wealthy. No one can become the powerful. No one can become knowledgeable and academician without the support of so many unknown people. We have to be grateful to those unknown people. The workers, electricians, builders, ordinary people, plumbers, farmers, workers. We have to be grateful. We have to create a culture of gratitude. We have to create the supply chain of gratitude, not just the supply chain of exploitation and production. I have taken much of your time, but dear friends, I have faith in this group. Though I am coming here for the first time, each one of us has the power to speak. Each one of us has power to challenge, because each one of us is sitting across this table with some sort of moral authority and following. There was a heavy fire broken out in jungle. All animals were rushing for a safer place, including King Lion. He noticed that there was a tiny hummingbird flying straight towards the flame. He shouted, "What are you doing?" She answered, "Sir, I was born and grew up in this jungle. I'm not going to leave it like that. I am going to extinguish this fire." Surprisingly, he asked again, "How come?" And the little tiny bird answered, "Sir, look at my beak. Look at my beak. I am carrying a drop of water. I am doing my bit. To save the entire future of the humankind, we have to save our children. Every one of us has to do her or his bit." Thank you so much.
Kailash, thank you so much. I think in the spirit of your powerful message, we will keep the children first in mind in our discussion. This is absolutely clear and necessary.